5-2. Right, it's time now for our fourth and final quarter-final. Who will join Rob Cross, Peter Wright, Gary Anderson in the semi-finals of this year's 2018 US Darts Masters? Will it be world number one and last year's winner, Michael van Gerwen, or will it be the left-hander, James Wade? This one should be an absolute belter. Looking forward to seeing MVG take on James Wade. Let's meet the players. Here's John McDonnell.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the quarter-final stages of the William Hill US Darts Masters. Coming to you from the Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino, Las Vegas! Time to meet the players. A two-time World Series finalist and a multi-major title winner. Ladies and gentlemen, the machine, James Wade! And now, ladies and gentlemen, the reigning and defending US Darts Masters champion, the reigning world number one, and the former two-time champion of the world, mighty Michael
The world numbers 2, 3 and 4 await in the semi-finals. The world number 1 is looking to join them as he continues the defence of the title he won here 12 months ago in Las Vegas, the inaugural US Darts Master. Michael van Gerwen, Mighty Mike, number 1 in the world rankings and number 1 by an absolute mile, more than £1 million clear of the number 2 Peter Wright. James Wade, a man who has been in the top 10, or just about, barring a few weeks where he slipped down to 11, for a decade. Even though he has had spells where he's been struggling. And it is more than a year since James Wade won a ranking PDC title. But over the last few months, he's really come back into form. He's looking very, very dangerous again. And as they say, class is permanent, form is temporary, and James Wade is a classy operator, Pikey.
Big ask against
first leg, James,
an informed van Gerwen, who didn't drop a leg in his first round win over Jeff Smith. Wade survived match darts against the young American Danny Lorby. What a perfect start. Not known as a prolific 180 hitter, but that will do nicely.
140.
Yeah, nearly lost 6-3 yesterday in the opening round after surviving an upset against young Lorby.
100.
Wade will feel he's got a real chance. Despite what you have to say is a poor record
93.
against Michael van Gerwen. Wade has lost his last 14 matches against the world number 1. Will this be the moment, the day, the stage here in Vegas that he snaps
140.
that poor run?
Yeah, and 5 of those losses have come this year, so a lot of that is recent damage that's been done by MVG to James Wade.
134. James
And some of them in the latter stages of tournaments. 12 and bullseye. Just having a little look at Van Gerwen's score, was he? Has to go for this.
Each on the first leg, Gerwen.
And does go for it, and does pin it.
Well, great start for James Wade.
100.
Yeah, his last win over Van Gerwen, pretty sure, came in the World Series in Auckland a couple of years ago. He was magnificent that night, but couldn't
81.
crack on and win a World Series title. That elusive World Series tournament win still eluding James Wade.
120.
Unlucky for Van Gerwen. Yeah, Peter Wright against Rob Cross. Gary Anderson against, who will it be in the semi-finals?
140.
Coming up very soon.
$59.
Well, Michael Van Gerwen, when he made the final of this last year, he won his first 3 games and only lost 1 leg. It was a procession through to the final for MVG. Granted, Daryl Gurney really did push him in that final.
100.
But beat Chris White 6-0, Dave Richardson 8-1, and then Gerwin Price 8-0. He's already seen off Jeff Smith 6-0.
78.
Yep, just another day at the office for Michael Van Gerwen. But James Wade here has a great opportunity to double his lead. Perfect, perfect.
140.
12 darter to win the opening leg. He's looking at a 13 darter here, or is he? So James Wade here
140. James, you require
to win the opening 2 legs in 25 darts.
He's on the second leg, James Wade.
Very
first. Game on.
impressive stuff. Nothing streaky about it from Wade.
96.
Yeah, Euro Tour event. It was a couple of years ago, was it, that Wade was last in the winner's circle, and far too good a player for that run to continue for too much longer.
Yeah, it was in Hamburg. He beat Van Gerwen on the way to that title.
97.
Our resident
140.
statistician Richard Ashdown telling us that year when he beat Van Gerwen on to winning that European event, he had a run against him of 4 wins from 5 games.
Yeah, including that one and that World Series one that you mentioned.
Yeah.
$121.
Just giving Van Gerwen a little tap on the shoulder here. Can he hold throw to make it the perfect start?
$140. Michael, you got 140.
Van Gerwen averaging 111, Wade averaging 113.
60.
James Wade here
110.
looking at 3-0. Playing beautifully.
Right decision, I think. It looked inviting to stay on the treble 20. He couldn't find it in the end, but you can see the thinking.
Michael, you got 80.
But Van Gerwen has not had a dart at double yet in this match. And he might still not get one. It's the bull.
What a big moment early on in this match. It never looked likely. An error, a big error from Van Gerwen. And it's 3-0 to James Wade. 110 average, 3 out of 3 on the doubles.
100.
Thoroughly deserving it.
James Wade has always been the master of doing enough in darts games. He's not really a guy who typically goes out and does these 110 averages and smashes people up 6-0, 7-0, 8-0. He does what's necessary, and for long periods of his career, James Wade went all the way to title after title after title, winning game after game after game. Things like 6-4, 6-5, last leg deciders, deciding sets. That's what James Wade did.
But if he can maintain this standard, if he can battle and scrap and average 113, There's nothing even Van Gerwen will be able to do.
123.
True. And this year, as he's come back into form after probably the last 6 months of last year, he was throwing some of the worst stuff he'd ever thrown in his career. He's done work on his throw. He's done work on technical aspects of how he's throwing. And we've seen him on a handful of occasions on the tour go and chuck these kinds of numbers. 110 averages.
81.
And really dominate games. And double 12 for another break. And the world #1 is being given all kinds of problems by a world-class Wadey performance. The socks are being pulled up.
Memories go back to Gelsenkirchen in the World Series, the first World Series event in Germany. When Michael van Gerwen ran into an inspired Dimitri van den Berg.
140.
The Belgian won 8-3. Here James Wade is averaging 117 against the world champ with the power to add and hasn't missed a dart at a double. Phenomenal!
100.
From the machine.
'93. '81.
The best player in the world is averaging 106. We're 4 legs in, and he has only been allowed 1 dart at a double.
Yeah, this is just phenomenal from James Wade. 140, please. That's what he'll be looking at. Needs the ton.
60. Michael Kwan, 170.
Well, if anyone can.
96. JJ Kwan, 120.
For 5-0. Well, the first mistake, the first error from James Wade.
40. Michael
Will it be costly?
74.
Only going to get 1 dart. Double top the target. Has to shuffle over.
54.
It's the first dart at the outer rim he has had in this whole game. And James Wade, for one of those typical James Wade finishes. Double top. Wading his way to a 5-0 lead.
Well, astonishing. No one, and I mean no one,
100.
in the world of darts, in the world of sport, would have predicted James Wade winning the first 5 legs of this match. Many would have predicted that he would be very much in this quarter-final. But 5-0, 5 out of 5 on the doubles. Just simply wonderful from Wade.
140.
Is there a way back? We've seen him get himself out of some tight scrapes, haven't we, over the years? Michael van Gerwen.
135.
Yeah, 6-0 down, you remember, in the UK Open.
140.
So Darren Webster managed to find a way. I think he was pushed all the way by Andrew Gilding at Minehead, wasn't he?
He was.
One of your favourite players.
108 average,
39.
and he still found a way to win. That's what Michael van Gerwen does more often than not, but not every time. Now then, double 18. There we go.
Michael van Gerwen.
The world #1 is off and running.
7th leg, James to throw first.
But it's only a hold and throw, you know. His little daughter enjoying the darts. Nearly 1.
'80.
We saw Gary Anderson really struggle to get past Dawson Marshall.
140.
To be fair, Van Gerwen hasn't done too much wrong. He's just been totally outscored.
100.
And outplayed. 2 180s.
140.
Is there any way back for the man who's won the last 3 World Series finals? For the man who's won 11 World Series titles?
100.
For a man who has won 15 titles this year already.
57. Change record 141.
141 is not going to go, but he's going to put a dent in it.
105. Mark record 164.
Two treble 19s would have left the bullseye, but MVG
98. Change record
could be
36.
about to go 6-1 down.
No score. Michael, you call it 66.
He doesn't normally like it. Well, he doesn't normally like it over there. Same target,
48.
same result.
Change record 36.
That's like in off the post in a World Cup penalty shootout, but they all count, and it's 6-1. It's a first 180 for Michael van Gerwen.
And I think he's going to need a lot more if he's going to turn this around, because James Wade, aside from that little wobble on the double 18,
60.
is looking supreme.
100.
You are never safe against Van Gerwen, though. Doesn't matter what kind of a lead you build up. He always has that capacity to just put on the afterburners and reel you in, chase you down.
105.
And you can see players panic when he starts to do it.
100. Michael, 116.
Wade just focusing on his own throw. He's 2 legs away
92.
from confirming what we already know. He's not far off his best.
100. Michael, 24.
Double 12 for a 13-darter.
And Sean Yeflag, Michael van Gerwen. 9 flag James to throw pass. Game on.
Is there any way back for the defending champion here in Las Vegas?
180.
Will help.
Van Gerwen was excellent when he won this title last year.
60.
But the highest average he threw was a 104. He is closer to 107 here, and he might end up getting heavily beaten in his second match.
140.
Blow for blow, dart for dart. It's a great watch.
57. James record 161.
Treble 17. Bullseye. Oh, James Wade is unstoppable. One of the best finishers in the game, putting on a clinic for the world #1 and battering him all over Las Vegas.
140.
And last year it really was a case of Viva Van Gerwen. Is it now going to be a case of farewell Las Vegas for the first champ here at the US Masters, the world #1?
101.
Has been given a darting caning. And there's not often you can say that over the last 5 or 6 years.
180.
Fantastic from James Wade. To stay in it.
140. 45.
And that
Danger
might well
right,
be
88.
the last dart he throws. 18s. Another bullseye.
63.
The width of a wire
25.
away from an 8-2 win.
Game shot on the 10th flag, Michael Van Gerwen. 11th flag, James to throw first. Game on.
5 legs left. Van Gerwen's got to win the lot. James Wade doesn't look in any mood
135.
to surrender this lead. One match dart which clipped the wire of the ball.
123.
Michael Van Gerwen has been the dominant force on the World Series of Darts over the last few years. He's been the dominant force in every form of darts over the last few years.
96.
But he could be about to suffer consecutive 8-3 defeats in the early stages of World Series tournaments.
133.
Vandenberg in Germany. Will it be Wade in Vegas?
58.
Is Van Gerwen's race run?
A reminder, James Wade survived 2 match darts from 25-year-old Danny Lorby in the opening round.
95. James
And here he is, stepping up for one of the best wins of the last 12 months in the career of James Wade. He kept it all together. The celebration at the end. Michael Van Gerwen did not have an answer. James Wade with a stunning win. A wonderful performance. He will play Gary Anderson in the semi-finals. It's farewell to Las Vegas for MVG.
Well, take a bow, James Wade. He survived 2 match starts yesterday against music teacher Dan Lowby, but tonight it was simply a breathtaking performance from the world number 10, who was Michael Van Gerwen. Michael Van Gerwen. It was a darting masterclass from Wade, and Van Gerwen, the defending champion, had no answers. A 3-dart average of 102.45 for Wade, a double success rate of 53%, and a brilliant highest checkout of 161 sees him move into the semi-final, where he will meet Gary Anderson, who we saw beat Dawson Michelle just a few moments ago. Comfort zone, it was sort of uncharacteristic mistakes from MVG, and that was because of the pressure that James Wade applied.
He was relentless all the way through the match. I mean, he got so far in front, but he just kept on leg, and he never really gave Michael that many chances to get back in it. There was the very odd ones, but he didn't give him too many.
I don't think he had a dart. I think that was the first dart he had a double in the first 5 legs, and that was at 4-0. And then he took that 80 out again as clean as a whistle. He'd love to trade one of those tops or 10s for the game against Anderson.
Yeah,
but this is when we all looked at each other and thought, right, here we go. Yeah. He's going to turn this.
But then he came down, and this 161 was just.
Oh,
well, there's never a bad time to hit a 161 unless you want 162. But it was fantastic just at the right time, and he kept it all the way through the match, which is a lot of people sometimes don't do that against Michael when he's always starting to make his comeback, get himself back into the match. He just kept punching it.
Yeah, the enormity of the moment sometimes sort of catches up, and we've seen it with Danny Lowby, didn't we?
Yeah.
He just started to think about what he was doing.